So we have to find V1 and V2. So let's start by writing directions of current. So let's have I1 go in this direction. Let's have I2 go in this direction. Let's have I3 go in this direction, and let's have I4 go in this direction. Now let's write the node equation for V1 and V2. So we see everything's leaving the node. So it's going to be I1 plus I2 plus I4 plus 12 equals 0. And for node V2, we see 12 amps and 6 amps is entering the node, as well as the I4 current, and I3 is leaving the node. And let's find some equations for these I's. So we see, we know this is the ground node, so that's 0 volts. So the equation for I1, we see it goes from the voltage goes from a high potential to a low potential, so it'll be V1 minus 0 all over the resistor it travels through, so it'll be 5. So it'll just be V1 over 5. I2, it's V1 and it's heading towards the 0 volts, so V1 and heads towards 0 volts, and it's all over 10. So V1 minus 0 all over 10. I3, it's V2 minus 0 all over 4. I4, it's V1 minus V2 all over 2. So let's plug all of these into these equations. So for the first one, it will turn into something like this. And then for V2, it'll look something like this. So 12 plus 6, that's 18, plus V1 minus V2 over 2, and that's all equal to V2 over 4. Now we can simplify these even more. So for this one, let's add up all the V1. So V1 over 5 plus V1 over 10 plus V1 over 2. If you add them up, you should get 0.8 V1. And then minus V2 over 5, that's just minus 0.5 V2 plus 12 equals 0. And then for the second one, it's 18 plus V2 over 2, V1 over 2, so it'll be plus 0.5 V1, because V1 over 2, that's 0.5 V1. And then we have minus V2 over 2, and then let's bring this V2 over 4 to the other side. So it'll be minus V2 over 2 minus V2 over 4, and that's minus 0.75 V2. Okay, now for this one, let's isolate for V2. So let's bring it to the other side. So it'll be 18 plus 0.5 V1 equals 0.75 V2. Divide both sides by V2. Divide both sides by 0.75. And you get 24 plus 0.666 V1. And this is equal to V2. Now plug that into here. So this one, it'll look something like this. 0.8 V1 minus 0.5, and V2 was 24 plus 0.666 V1 plus 12. And then simplifying this, 0.5 times 12, that's just 0.5 times 24, that's 12, plus minus 0.5 times 24, that's minus 12, and then minus 0.5 times 0.666 V1, that's, hold on, let me check the calculator. That's minus 0.333 V1 plus 12. And then we see these two cancel out. So we're just left with, hold on, let's bring it here. So we're left with 0.8 V1 minus 0.333 V1 equals 0. And then if we have 0.8 minus 0.333, that's 0.467 V1 equals 0. And V1 has to equal 0, because then that's the only way that this whole equation is true. And since we know V1 is 0, we can plug it in here. 0.66 times 0, that's just a 0. So this is gone, so it'll be 24 is equal to V2. So these are your final answers.